Don't pass on malicious gossip. Don't link up with a wicked person and give corrupt testimony. Don't go along with the crowd in doing evil, and don't mess up your testimony in a case just to please the crowd. And just because someone is poor, don't show favoritism in a dispute. If you find your enemy's ox or donkey loose, take it back to him. If you see the donkey of someone who hates you lying helpless under its load, don't walk off and leave it. Help it up. When there is a dispute concerning your poor, don't tamper with the justice due them. Stay clear of false accusations. Don't contribute to the death of innocent and good people. I don't let the wicked off the hook. Don't take bribes. Bribes blind perfectly good eyes and twist the speech of good people. Don't take advantage of a stranger. You know what it's like to be a stranger. You were strangers in Egypt. Sow your land for 6 years and gather in its crops, but in the 7th year leave it alone and give it a rest so that your poor may eat from it. What they leave, let the wildlife have. Do the same with your vineyards and olive groves. Work for 6 days and rest the 7th, so your ox and donkey may rest and your servant and migrant workers may have time to get their needed rest. Listen carefully to everything I tell you. Don't pay attention to other gods, don't so much as mention their names. 3 times a year you are to hold a festival for me. Hold the spring festival of unraised bread, when you eat unraised bread for 7 days at the time set for the month of Abib, as I commanded you. That was the month you came out of Egypt. No one should show up before me empty-handed. Hold the summer festival of harvest when you bring in the first fruits of all your work in the fields. Hold the autumn festival of Ingathering at the end of the season when you bring in the year's crops. 3 times a year all your males are to appear before the Master, God. Don't offer the blood of a sacrifice to me with anything that has yeast in it. Don't leave the fat from my festival offering out overnight. Bring the choice first produce of the year to the house of your God. Don't boil a kid in its mother's milk. Now get yourselves ready. I'm sending my angel ahead of you to guard you in your travels, to lead you to the place that I've prepared. Pay close attention to him. Obey him. Don't go against him. He won't put up with your rebellions because he's acting on my authority. But if you obey him and do everything I tell you, I'll be an enemy to your enemies. I'll fight those who fight you. When my angel goes ahead of you and leads you to the land of the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, I'll clear the country of them. So don't worship or serve their gods, don't do anything they do, because I'm going to wipe them right off the face of the earth and smash their sacred phallic pillars to bits. But you serve your God and he'll bless your food and your water. I'll get rid of the sickness among you, there won't be any miscarriages nor barren women in your land. I'll make sure you live full and complete lives. I'll send my terror on ahead of you and throw those peoples you're approaching into a panic. All you'll see of your enemies is the backs of their necks. And I'll send despair on ahead of you. It will push the Hivites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites out of your way. I won't get rid of them all at once lest the land grow up in weeds and the wild animals take over. Little by little I'll get them out of there while you have a chance to get your crops going and make the land your own. I will make your borders stretch from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea and from the wilderness to the Euphrates River. I'm turning everyone living in that land over to you, go ahead and drive them out. Don't make any deals with them or their gods. They are not to stay in the same country with you lest they get you to sin by worshipping their gods. Beware. That's a huge danger. He said to Moses, climb the mountain to God, you and Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. They will worship from a distance, only Moses will approach God. The rest are not to come close. And the people are not to climb the mountain at all. So Moses went to the people and told them everything God had said, all the rules and regulations. They all answered in unison, everything God said, we'll do. Then Moses wrote it all down, everything God had said. He got up early the next morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain using 12 pillar stones for the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he directed young Israelite men to offer whole burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of bulls. Moses took half the blood and put it in bowls, the other half he threw against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it as the people listened. They said, everything God said, we'll do. Yes, we'll obey. Moses took the rest of the blood and threw it out over the people, saying, this is the blood of the covenant which God has made with you out of all these words I have spoken. Then they climbed the mountain, Moses, and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and saw the God of Israel. He was standing on a pavement of something like sapphires, pure, clear sky blue. He didn't hurt these pillar leaders of the Israelites. They saw God, and they ate and drank. God said to Moses, "Climb higher up the mountain and wait there for me. I'll give you tablets of stone, the teachings and commandments that I've written to instruct them." So Moses got up, accompanied by Joshua his aide. And Moses climbed up the mountain of God. He told the elders of Israel, "Wait for us here until we return to you. You have Aaron and Hur with you. If there are any problems, go to them." Then Moses climbed the mountain. The cloud covered the mountain. The glory of God settled over Mount Sinai. The cloud covered it for 6 days. On the 7th day he called out of the cloud to Moses. In the view of the Israelites below, the glory of God looked like a raging fire at the top of the mountain. Moses entered the middle of the cloud and climbed the mountain. Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights.